I understand projects and threads, maybe in my real life, but not so much in Claude. Hi, I'm Bonnie, and I am here to help you figure out what the difference is between a project and a thread in Claude. Claude is one of my favorite LLM programs. It's super friendly, super easy to use. It's a little bit wordier than ChatGPT, but it does do some really great projects and it does have some terrific output. So all it is what you need to understand is inside of Claude, it's even more important to understand your input before you're going to get maximum output. So let's talk about that. There's a similar idea to what ChatGPT's is. So we're going to be talking about project and thread inside of Claude. A project, again, is an ongoing organized workspace that you train, okay? And again, you train it with other files. You can connect them from your Google Drive. You can upload them from your computer. There's lots of options, and I'll show you that when we get in, okay? Another one to keep in mind, though, is the thread. Now, a thread can be inside of a project because that's what you're talking with, right? That's how you're interacting with it. Or you can just have standard threads, just like chat. Remember to check out the chat video about it, about how to keep the projects and threads separate inside of ChatGPT. However, a thread is also just a single conversation with memory inside of Claude, specific to that thread. Okay, now when to use? You're going to use a project for big ideas or organized tasks. Like, for instance, you might have something like, here is my meal planner project. What are we going to have for dinner is going to be a separate thread, okay? And I need the recipe for that. That would be a thread inside of your project, okay? And threads are quick chats or one-off questions. Now, I like the threads to be a little bit more in depth too, because you can have it very specific for a project. For instance, you might say, I am going to be working on cleaning my house. What are things I need to cover on the inside? That might be a thread inside of the project, house cleaning. Another thread, and that one will go very deep, saying, well, what should I use? I have granite counters. I have stainless steel sinks. So what cleaning things should I be using? What techniques should I be using? How often should I clean? And then in another thread, you might say, I need to talk about how to clean the outside of my house and keep the landscaping up. What things should I use on maybe wood deck or maybe on chipped concrete? What can I use to fix that? So you would have these different threads and treat it like different consultants and different people to come in and fix your home. So your threads can be separate specialists inside of these projects that you're talking to. Okay, so the projects are great. So what we're going to do is, another thing that's great about projects in Claude is it saves everything you're working on. And another one for the threads is it's short-term memory. More like separate questions like we said, but it's also kind of like little conversations that you can come back to if you need to. So if you have any text messaging threads that maybe you have with your mom and your best friend, maybe your brother, you can always come back to those and you can see what's in those. But you can't go to like a big, huge group thread and be like, hey, do you remember what we talked about last week in our private thread? That's not how it works. So for instance, a real life example inside Claude might be planning our vacation would be a Claude project. Asking about Yellowstone facts would be a thread. Okay, so let's jump into Claude and we're going to look at, here is the project arena. So you have different projects in here. Over on the left-hand side, you have a new chat, just a standard chat. Then you have your chat history. Here's recent chats that we have in here. And this one over on the recent side will also pull up from any projects that you have. And then it has chats where it's just all of the chats and you just go in there. If you want to click here, it will actually hide that and will just be a focus on this, or it'll bring this out. So we're going to actually come down here. There is a how to use Claude, a projects example. So this is showing you how to use it. I love when they give us easy to use tools, okay? This is great. So project knowledge, you would come here and you can see, okay, I can do Claude prompting guide, MD. What it will let you do is actually have like this. I'll come back into my own projects and I'm going to show you that it will let me set up project instructions. So I'm going to hit plus and I can upload from device, or I can do Google Drive documents, and I can do that. GitHub, add text content, okay? So let's go back into the projects and go back down to how to use Claude. And it's going to tell you the model that it's using. I prefer Sonnet. I hugely prefer Sonnet. It's so amazing. But they also have the 3.5 and the 3 Opus. So you can use these options. Again, I prefer the 3.7. It's tremendous output, but it's very simple, and that is the default, okay? I can actually upload something. I can upload a file, take a screenshot, and then what I can say is, it says here for how to use Claude, example project, an example project that also doubles as a how-to guide for using Claude. Chat with it to learn more about how to get the most out of chatting with Claude. So right out of the gate, it starts a brand new chat, okay? So I'm just gonna say, hey, I'm learning how to use Claude. And then it'll come up this, right? And this will be a brand new thread, brand new chat, and saying, hey, I'm here. I'm going to help you however you want. What kind of tasks you want to do. Now, when I go back to the project, it's going to show that chat. So I can always come back to that chat if I want to and start a new one. So you can also star this and make it to where it stays up at the top, and it makes it very easy for you to access. Look, guys, Claude is super fun. Go and try it out. Again, though, you have to have the paid access in order to use the projects. But if you don't want to do that, that's okay. Just train a thread to do what you want a project to do. And it's really easy to get around, okay? Your output's a little bit lower, but it's very easy to work this around as you're learning how to use Claude or Chat GPT. I like them both. So go ahead and go test that out and see what you think. And put down in the comments what you're going to try Chat for. And if you would use the projects, what would you use the projects for? Let me know how I can help you organize them or help you figure out how to use them in your real life situations. Click like and subscribe, and go ahead and hit the bell so you get notifications when our next video is up. And guys, I can't wait to figure out other ways that we can use AI in our lives together.